She didn't even lower her voice when she said it. You'll need to move out. My daughter's family needs this house more. I stood there, holding a glass I hadn't finished washing, water running over my fingers like I'd forgotten how to move. My name is Danielle Brooks, and I remember thinking, she really has no idea. No idea who's been keeping this place standing. No idea what it costs. No idea what happens next. By when? I asked, turning off the tap slowly. Tomorrow, she said. Just like that. They'll be here in the morning. Tomorrow. I nodded once, calm enough to make her think she'd already won. She smiled slightly, satisfied. That's what stayed with me. Not the demand. The confidence. I dried my hands, walked past her without another word, and went straight to my room. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. Because explaining only works when someone's willing to hear you. Instead, I picked up my phone and made one call, then another. By evening, boxes lined every wall. By midnight, everything I owned was sealed. And by morning, when her daughter showed up smiling at the door, I was already gone. I didn't wait to see their faces when they walked in. I already knew what they expected: warmth, space, a house ready to welcome them. What they got instead was silence. The last box left just before sunrise. I stood in the empty living room for a second, letting it sink in. No furniture, no dishes, no small comforts that made it livable. Just walls. Exactly how I found it. I locked the door, slid the keys onto the kitchen counter, and walked out without looking back. My phone buzzed before I even reached the end of the street. Her name flashed across the screen. I let it ring. Then it buzzed again. And again. By the time I reached my car, the messages had started. Where are you? Why is everything empty? What did you do? I leaned against the door, reading each one slowly. Not confusion. Panic. Good. Another call came through. This time, I answered. What did you do to the house? She snapped. I smiled, even though she couldn't see it. I moved out, I said simply. You took everything. No, I replied calmly. I took what I paid for. There was a pause on the line. Not long, but enough. What does that mean? She asked, slower now. I opened my car door, sliding into the driver's seat, keeping my voice steady. It means the couch, the appliances, the internet, the utilities, the pantry, everything you're looking at, I paid for. Silence again. Heavier this time. You lived here, she said finally, like that explained everything. Yes, I replied. And I covered $6,600 every month to keep it running. The number landed. I could hear it. That's not possible, she snapped. It is, I said. Check the accounts. Another voice came through then, her daughter. Tight. Frustrated. Mom, the fridge is empty, she said. There's nothing here. I didn't interrupt. I let them feel it. Where are the bills? Her daughter added. Nothing's paid this month. Because I stopped. Because I left. You can't just walk away, my mother-in-law said, her control slipping. I leaned back in my seat, watching the house in my rearview mirror one last time. I didn't walk away, I said quietly. I followed your instructions. Her breathing changed. Sharper now. You need to come back and fix this, she demanded. And that's when I realized. She still thought she had authority over me. I let out a slow breath, steadying myself before I spoke again. No, I said. You told me to leave. I left. Her voice sharpened immediately. Don't twist this. You didn't have to take everything. I didn't take everything, I replied calmly. Just what belongs to me. Another voice cut in, her daughter, louder now. The power's off in half the house. What did you do? I closed my eyes briefly, picturing the breaker account I had canceled the night before. I ended the services under my name, I said. You what? My mother-in-law snapped. You wanted the house, I continued. Now you have it. Silence fell again, but this time it wasn't confusion. It was realization creeping in piece by piece. Bills, utilities, groceries, repairs, everything they never saw. You can't expect us to just handle all that overnight, she said, her tone shifting, less command, more pressure. I opened my eyes and looked straight ahead. That's exactly what you expected from me, I replied. Another pause. Then softer, strained. You should have told me. I almost laughed. Because she never asked. Not once. And now the weight she handed me without a thought was sitting squarely on her shoulders. You should have told me, she repeated, quieter now. I leaned my head back against the seat, staring at the ceiling of the car. You didn't want to know, I said. That landed harder than anything else I'd said so far. Because it was true. Every month, I paid what needed to be paid. Quietly. Consistently. And every month, she walked through that house like it ran on its own. Or worse, like it ran because of her. I assumed you were just helping, she said. Helping? That's one way to say it, I replied. Her daughter's voice came through again, more urgent this time. Mom, we can't stay here like this. There's no food, no Wi-Fi, and I just checked. The mortgage account shows a balance due. There it was. The part they never saw. I covered the difference every month, I said. The payment you thought was enough? It wasn't. Silence. Real silence this time. My mother-in-law didn't interrupt, didn't correct me, because she was finally putting it together. All the invisible things that kept her life stable were never hers to begin with. You need to come back, she said finally, but the authority was gone now. Just pressure. Just need. I didn't answer right away. Not because I didn't know what to say, because I wanted her to sit in it. You need to come back, she repeated, softer now. I looked out the windshield, watching people pass like nothing in my world had just shifted. No, I said. That single word changed everything. Her breathing hitched. Danielle, be reasonable. Reasonable. I almost smiled. I was reasonable, I replied. Every month. Every bill. Every time I stayed quiet instead of asking why I was carrying everything alone. She didn't argue. Because she couldn't. Her daughter spoke again, this time directly to me. We didn't know, she said. I believe you, I answered. And I did. But not knowing doesn't erase the impact. It just explains it. We can fix this, my mother-in-law added quickly. We'll figure something out together. Together. That word felt foreign coming from her. I sat up straight, my voice steady, controlled. You already made your decision, I said. Another pause. But you didn't understand it. I continued. Silence again. Because now they did. And for the first time since this started. They weren't telling me what to do anymore. Her voice came back thinner this time. What do you want us to do? That question used to belong to me. I let the quiet stretch, then answered without raising my voice. Start by calling utility companies. Open accounts in your names. Pay the balances. Stock the house. Cover the mortgage gap. Her daughter exhaled, a shaky sound. We can't do all that today. I didn't soften it. I did. My brother-in-law finally spoke, low and careful. We can transfer you back what you spent. No, I said. You can't repay years in a day. Silence. Then my mother-in-law tried one last angle. At least come back and help us get set up. I pictured that kitchen, the counters I scrubbed, the nights I stayed up balancing numbers no one asked about. I'm not coming back, I said. A long pause followed. Then we'll have to figure it out ourselves, she whispered. Yes, I replied. It sounded harsh, but it wasn't punishment. It was truth. I ended the call before she could ask for anything else. As I set the phone down, I realized something simple. They weren't asking for help anymore. They were asking for the life I built. The call ended, and the quiet that followed felt earned. Not empty. Not lonely. Clear. I started the engine and drove away without checking my phone again. For once, I didn't need updates, explanations, or apologies. I already knew how it would go. They'd scramble, call companies, sit in that hollow house and realize how much it actually takes to keep something alive. Not just money, attention, consistency, care. Things no one noticed when I was the one doing them. My phone lit up again at a stoplight. Her name. I let it fade. Then another message came through, her daughter this time. We didn't know. I'm sorry. I stared at the words for a moment, then locked the screen. Some apologies come too late to change anything. They matter, but they don't undo. I pulled into the driveway of my new place, smaller but mine in a way that didn't depend on anyone else's approval. No expectations. No silent burdens.
Just me.
I stepped out, closed the door behind me, and felt something settle inside my chest for the first time in years. Not relief. Control. And I wasn't giving it back.